Ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. So this is Muffin, and Muffin has been with me for 2 days now, going through some training. She's getting some structure and socialization, and the first thing we're going to talk about, because we have the opportunity, is cats. She definitely is interested, but I've not seen much aggression. You can see I've asked her to sit. She's not putting any tension on the leash. Let's go. And so she's, interested, but not that interested. Sit. So she's also been in my home for the past 2 days. Stay. And what I've seen with the cats is she shows interest and she may chase if they run, but she's definitely not aggressive, and she's not the type of dog that is going to hurt them once she gets them. Not that I've seen. Sit. Really what we've been concentrating on is structure and socialization. So she's a little timid, so we've been working on boosting her confidence by exposing her to new things, as well as doing some leash manners, getting some structure on her, and just teaching her how to respond properly to stimulus. We think she's been maybe a little isolated, so she's become a little awkward. Stay. So we're just making sure we show her how we want her to behave by sitting and being calm, by walking nicely on the leash. In the home, she's really a dream. She's completely housebroken. We've had no accidents. Stay. We haven't had her get into anything, tear anything up. She does like toys, but toys are, there to be destroyed. So, what else have we seen? The timidity. She is a little shy, and you can see she's a little anxious right now. We're asking her to do some stuff. And really, the worst of it is she can sometimes get a little overwhelmed and react nervously. She's never bit or nipped, but she can sometimes put on a good show. And that's okay. That's what she's learned will get her what she wants. And so we're going to show her the appropriate way to get what she wants, which is by sitting and being calm and doing what we asked her to do. Structure and socialization are my keys to fixing everything. So she's going to need continued structure, leash manners. Like you can see, I'm just asking her to remain seated. I would prefer she focus on me, but she's very interested in Mr. OJ right now. Muffin. Hey, over here. Thank you. And so the continued socialization is definitely something that she will need along with the structure. If you allow her to become isolated again, where she's not getting out on a regular basis, they can revert back to their original fear and just lack of socialization. No, ma'am. Let's go. Sit. So new sights, new sounds, new smells, new dogs, new people. I understand that might not always be feasible under circumstances, but as long as you're getting her out of her daily routine and seeing a new sight. If you're going to take her on a walk, that's wonderful. Change it up. Don't walk the same route every day. As long as you're stimulating that brain and giving her something new to interact with, you're going to keep her happy, along with the structure. But really, in a 2-day time span, she has come around very quickly. She's very smart. She's very eager to please. Here. Thank you. And she does respond to verbal correction. She's been in my home with 4 other dogs and 2 cats, and she does very well. She mingles nicely. She's very responsive to your words, and so she does listen well. She can be a little needy and a little rude, so making sure she's sitting and asking for affection as opposed to jumping up and asking for affection is something we've been working on. But she's a very good, very smart dog, very sweet dog. That just needs a little polishing to really be the great dog we know is in there.
Can you talk about how she responds to new people when she meets them?
Yeah, so she can be pretty timid. And so we definitely don't want anyone to rush her or invade her personal space. Spatial pressure is absolutely something that can trigger their anxiety. And so we just want to make sure she's able to kind of adjust to them at her own pace and come up to them slowly. You will want to avoid going in to grab the head, going in over the head. We want them to be nice and calm. Make sure you go underneath. And then always making sure they know they have a way of escape. And just kind of giving her a second. Hey, that cat does not want to play with you. Come here. Sit. She's very curious about OJ, but again, you can see she's not, bothering him. She just really wants to go up to him. Hey, leave it. Leave it. Thank you. And so I'm just going to divert her attention away. Leave it. And you can see, again, she's responding really well to that correction. So yeah, when she's meeting new people, make sure you're asking her to remain calm. We don't want to let her pull and run away. We just want to ask her to sit and be calm while the new person says hi, and let them meet at a kind of nice, slow, calm pace. Children might be a little difficult for her. The energy level needs to be calm. It needs to be kept down here. If you go at her with a lot of energy, that can intimidate them and overwhelm them and cause them to regress. So if we're allowing them to come out of their shell slowly on their own terms, you're going to have a much happier, much more secure dog.
You mentioned that she's sensitive to having her collar pulled.
Yes, so the few times I've grabbed her collar and tried to pull her, she does react to that. Sit. And it can be, she puts on a good show. Ma'am, leave it. Sit. She puts on a good show, but she's never actually put her teeth on me. I'm going to see if I can get her to react, but I don't know that she will. But I think in the past she may have been grabbed by her collar a lot. So when I have grabbed her collar and she's unsure, or if she's new and you pull her, let's go. Sit. And of course she's not going to do it now. We've built some trust. But what she does is she jumps up on her hind legs and she kind of grabs your arm and she snarls at you. Sit. And that's her way of telling you, hey, I don't like this. Now again, she's never followed through, but it looks pretty intimidating. So again, that's just part of allowing her to build trust with her handler, with her situation, to have some structure to where she knows what is the appropriate way to behave. And then just like I said, allowing her to build trust slowly and really just build that confidence.
And can you talk about our plan for when we go to the vet next?
Okay, so when we go to the vet, we are going to be working on keeping that energy level down low. Sit. One of the tools, as opposed to the slip leash stay, is the transition leash, which goes over her nose. And this hits the calming pressure point on the nose. And it also allows us to have a little more control of the head, so that if they do react stressfully, we have much more control. And it works the same way as a slip leash. Let's go. A little pressure to sit. Good. Let's go. Sit. And you can see it's a little more for them to get used to, but this way I have a lot more control over her head. And when you put pressure on the leash to have them sit, you're really getting a much better response, because they don't want to pull through the pressure on their nose. So they're more distracted by this than the scary things coming at them in the doctor's office. So hopefully it will allow us to work through that stimulus in a more calm and controlled manner, if we're lucky. And she is responding really well. Like I said, she's 2 days in to a week-long training period, and this is beautiful for 2 days. She's going to be doing this out in public for the first time today, which I have no doubt she's going to be great, because she's very smart, very eager to learn, but definitely responds well and respects the structure and being shown exactly how to behave. She wants to be shown how to please you. And she's getting there.
Is there any specific type of trainer or training that an adopter should look for with her?
Not in particular. I do believe continuing to work with the trainer would benefit not just the dog, but her potential owner, just to give you kind of a guideline of how you can both be on the same page. When you're both on the same page, you're really going to get a much quicker response out of the dog, and you're going to build that bond and that trust by working with that dog. So really you're looking at any kind of trainer that does basic obedience, but hopefully also has some kind of social program, where she can go and play and socialize with other dogs throughout the day, if that's possible. Getting her out to continue socializing, And again, just continuing to keep up that structure, you're both on the same page, is going to make everyone a lot happier. Ma'am, leave it.
I see a huge difference in her in just 2 days, so that makes me really excited.
Yeah, and this is the exact same thing. You can see the cat's there. He's not really doing anything, but I'm just asking her to divert her attention away from the cat. I know she's also been reactive to like bicycles and things like that, and this is the same thing we would do. If we see a bike coming, I'm just going to ask her to sit and be calm. And you can see I corrected her through the whining and things she was doing at the cat. I would do the same thing. I would correct anything that isn't just sitting and being calm until that object passed. And eventually she's going to learn that this is the proper reaction to that stimulus, not barking and my head off and lunging at the leash and doing all of that. So this is always the goal. This is the energy level we're striving for. And she's there most of the time. Every dog is going to get excited by something.